Music has layers. When we hear a song, what we feel and experience is the interaction between the layers, which form a unified whole, where the sum is greater than the individual parts. However, lighting is often flat in comparison. It's just a single layer. So then if you were to try to take a light and have it express music, a lot of that depth and richness to a song is now lost in translation. It gets compressed to nothing. You get a disjoint experience. And we want to solve that and address that issue when it came to MAINFRAME-B visual instrument. And this is why we introduced zones, which are basically layers for the lights. One of our main goals for MAINFRAME-B visual instrument is to make a system, a lighting system, that could truly and very closely represent and express your music. And when you look at music and all of art in general, it's all based around layers, where each layer has its own personality, its own character. When you take the layers and as a composer, you arrange the layers in a way that they combine together and create a sort of harmony. And it creates a new experience that is not possible with just each individual layer. It creates depth. It creates, a sort of feeling that you want to explore and listen into. It creates interest. It creates a lot of things, which often on lighting systems, it just doesn't exist. It's just too flat. And so then by introducing zones, you're then able to now take different MIDI channels and then have MAINFRAME-B combine them together. It's almost acting as a bit of a color mixer. There are 3 zones to MAINFRAME-B. Each zone will take in its own MIDI channel and will have its own set of unique parameter values, which allow you to then pretty much customize the look, feel, and behavior of each zone and have MAINFRAME-B combine and mix them. So now you're playing with different zones, different MIDI channels together. All zones are displayed simultaneously, and when you press the zone button, you could scroll through the different zones, and when one is highlighted, you're now editing the parameters for that zone. So pretty simple to use. That's pretty much all you have to know about them. But now I want to go into a few ideas on how you could actually use this idea of zones. And these are just what I've done with them so far and what I've seen myself. And I'm sure you guys could come up with way better ideas than I can. So I'm very curious to see what you guys come up with. So the one and the most obvious thing you could do is take 3 different MIDI tracks. Let's say 3 different instruments on your composition. You could take the drums, the bass, and the melody, and have them each go to its own zone. And then you could, the same way you might mix in your DAW, or whatever software you're using, you could also mix and make a new experience on Mainframe. And probably my favorite way to use zones is actually as a collaborative light. Now think about this. So when you are with your friends, let's say you have 2 other buddies, you form a band of 3, each of you are playing your own instrument, and as the audience, what you hear is the combined, kind of the unification of all 3 together. The same thing could be done with MAINFRAME-B. So now imagine each of you have your own way of generating MIDI, your own MIDI controller, let's say. Each of you could get a zone, and then what you experience in the light is the collaboration of all you 3 together. You see it in the lights, how all 3 interact together. So it's not just audio you're hearing that interaction, but also in the lights with color and pattern too. And the times I've seen this were just amazing, and it's one of my favorite ways to use zones. Another thing you could do is assign more than one zone to a single MIDI channel. This way, even though they still share the same source, you could actually get quite a bit of depth and complexity with the lights. A great example of this is a digital piano, which often only has one MIDI channel. By assigning more than one zone to the digital piano, you could get a lot of complexity, a lot of depth is what I basically am showing you here. That's pretty much it. There's, zones and layering is quite a simple concept to understand, but then gives a lot of possibilities. And before we added in layers to Mainframe, back in the day with the early versions, it was just a single layer. It really lacked depth, which is what I see in a lot of lighting products and something we just had to address for this product. There's more videos on parameters, modulation, and presets, among many other topics about MAINFRAME-B. So if you're interested in learning more, you should watch those videos and feel free to ask any questions. I'm very happy to answer them.